All right, it is 25 minutes before 11 o'clock, and it's time to talk about the law. And if you have a question about the law, maybe you are in a legal bind or a legal circumstance, and you would like to talk to an attorney or at least get the ball rolling, Vanessa Jennings is in the studio to do that right now. The number is 622-9622. Last week, you might have tried to call in and didn't get through because last week was a repeat because Vanessa had some car problems. That's what you say. All right. And so today it's live on April 22nd. So if that's the date on your calendar, then you're listening to a live show. You never know if this one might be repeated. The number is 622-9622. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I am doing very well. How is everyone this morning?
How's your car?
It's all better. Thank you, Jim at Autobahn. It's all better.
Have you ever had to represent somebody who had the warranty not honored? Like I had that happen to me actually with my oil was sludging up, and they said, okay, you didn't change your oil the way you were supposed to, so therefore your warranty is void. And I said, well, I think I did change it. And I did, but I didn't. I wasn't always. Okay, so in other words, what they say is...
You weren't fastidious with your oil change.
You have to change your oil every whatever, let's say 3,000 miles, whatever the contract says. Have it documented by whoever changes it. Correct. And if you don't, and something goes wrong, even though it's a 5-year guarantee, if any time in those 5 years you waited too long, boom, you're out of luck.
Yes.
That almost doesn't seem fair.
That's why you go to one of the places that keeps track of it. There's, like, if you go to...
But, I mean, what if you're like me and you were... Okay, let's say I was a whole month late, which I was.
Right.
Okay, and that made it void. It was crazy.
You'd have to argue.
Yeah.
You'd be arguing. Have I represented that? No, I've represented people who said that they never got their warranty. So they went to... a service mechanic. They said, we want this product and we'll give you a lifetime warranty. And then they go back and they said, oh no, we never gave you a warranty. I've had cases like that.
A lifetime warranty. Mm-hmm. That's the lifetime of the person or the product?
Product.
So as soon as the product dies, the lifetime warranty is a misleading statement, isn't it? Or a claim or promise.
Yes, because there's normally so many exceptions that it's not even funny.
But don't we make that guarantee when we say I do? When we get married, don't we say,
there's an exception there.
Really?
For better or worse.
To death do us part. So it's to death. So it's
till death.
That's right.
Okay, but then you undo it with the divorce, and all of a sudden, I didn't mean it. That lifetime guarantee,
That's where contract law comes in. Sometimes you need to terminate a contract. It's not a good business deal.
So is that how you approach divorces? Is like
business deal?
It's like it's a contract?
Well, it is a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, and for the people going through it, it's not. It's an emotional turmoil. You know, they're having their worst day when they come to see me. But in reality, when you look at it, it's from the lawyer's perspective. Things are, most part, black and white, you know, because you have to figure out what the assets are, what the liabilities are,
right.
You know, and you start dividing things up and trying to come up with the most fair solution possible. But the problem is there's emotional attachments to things. So yes, it's a contracts, but you also have to take in the emotion, because sometimes that something is more important than the value itself.
Yeah, and as an attorney, you must be in an awkward position because you have to. I mean, you can't. There's no way you convince somebody to stay together. Well, maybe in some cases, but most of the times, if one of the two wants to leave, it's kind of hard to undo that idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when a couple decides to get married, they should also go to an attorney and take out a separate contract.
I always think
in
everyone
addition
should
to
have
the
a prenup.
vows.
Prenup?
I think everyone should have a prenup. Even if you don't have anything, because you might have something in the future. So if you set up an account that says whatever I put into this account will always be a non-marital asset. It is mine. Mm-hmm. You know, or any inheritance that I ever get, you will never, you know, if we were to get divorced, will never be yours, no matter what the law says. Mm-hmm. We're agreeing to that today. Because you never know what happened. You never, you know, especially people who get married at 23, 24, 25, which I think it's too young, but that's just my personal opinion. They don't know what the next 20, 30 years is going to hold. They don't know where their life is going to be going. So they could
Who does?
make it. No one does, but they could make it big. And all of a sudden have all this money. They get into their 40s and realize that they've grown apart from their partner and they want to go a different way.
Right.
And they're not necessarily protected like they wish they were.
And no amount of talking can keep that partner to stay. Once one of the partners makes up their mind they're leaving, that's
Most of the time, I would think that's a very accurate statement. I'm sure you could sometimes
Some
convince
exceptions,
someone,
maybe,
right?
yeah.
But I think for the most part, once one's ready, and that's the way it works in Florida. So one person's ready, everybody's ready. Hard.
There's a national story out of Ocala. It was in the Wall Street Journal, and it's got to do with Dr. Kamar. Are you familiar with this story by chance?
No, but you're going to tell me all about it.
Yeah. Well, it was in the Wall Street Journal. It's a national story, as I mentioned, and apparently he was among the highest billing doctors in the Medicare program.
Oh.
Okay. So he was the target of a civil lawsuit by the Justice Department. Now this was last year, okay, and now he has filed for bankruptcy protection according to the court records. Okay, so Medicare paid him $16 million in 2013 and $18.3 million in 2012.
why is he still here? He should be in Europe somewhere.
He was one of the top handful of medical providers by payments from Medicare in each of those years. His personal liabilities, and this is the part I wanted to ask you about. Personal liabilities, according to the Wall Street Journal, were valued between $10 and $50 million.
What does he own?
And his assets, listen to this, were also in that range. Okay. Now, according to one of 4 bankruptcy filings on Wednesday by the doctor and his business entities, the Institute of Cardiovascular Excellence, which is his practice, in a separate filing disclosed liabilities of the same $10 to $50 million, but less than $50,000 in assets. So is that the way you do bankruptcies? Is you kind of, I mean, what... Okay, the last part of this says that his attorney, Aaron Wernick is his name. Do you know Aaron, by chance?
I know of him.
Okay. He represents Dr. Kamar, and he said, here's the quote, Dr. Kamar, quote, will try to pay all creditors in full and try to reach a mutually satisfactory resolution with all parties, unquote. So is that why the number is so different? Because he expects to be paying everybody back? So therefore his assets are really very small?
Well, his personal and his business are different.
Okay.
So they're 2 different entities.
Okay, so that's the part I'm confused about.
Right. So who you are as a person is different from what the business is. Because a business in the state of Florida is its own person. For instance.
So if I wanted to protect my money, I make it personal or I make it my business? Or it depends on what I'm getting sued.
Well, there's actually so many different options for that answer that it's not funny. Because that gets into asset protection and how you actually protect those assets.
Well, is that why the number's so small then? Because his lawyer is helping him protect those assets.
Well, you would need, before anything came up, he would need to be protecting his assets.
Because he's got a lot of people in town that love him. First of all, I'm not trying to, hopefully nobody's think I'm bad-mouthing. I'm just telling you what the Wall Street Journal says.
Right.
And so he's going through this. It's obviously not an easy time for him.
Right.
But I'm just curious about the legal approach to it.
Because if he had said, I don't know what his situation is, but let's just take a different situation. Let's say that there's a generic doctor and he makes lots of money. Theoretically, he should have set things up all the way along via trusts, via different mechanisms that will shelter the money from creditors coming after it. So he technically has access to it, but it's not in his name. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Yeah.
So he's hiding it.
So he could have a car.
No, you're not. It's not hiding it. It's there. It's in plain sight. It could be in the bank. It's just not under his name. It's under the name of an irrevocable trust, or it's under the name of another company.
So
that he owns.
if we were to sell 10 million songs or something and have $10 million, okay, and somebody
do it.
and somebody wanted, and somebody wanted to sue us and get that money.
For copyright infringement.
Yeah, right.
Or an ex-spouse or
Damn
something.
it, Robin! I thought we wrote that one. Damn it, Robin!
It was the Eagles after all.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I'll just move away. I'll just find an island somewhere. So is that why people incorporate? And is an LLC as protective as a corporation?
For all intents and purposes, they're very similar. The main difference is how they're taxed. LLCs are normally a flow-through taxation, meaning that they flow through you, and you just do one tax return. So you can do a 1040 and have an LLC. Where if you have a corporation, the corporation files its own taxes and has its own tax issues. But there's ways to make corporations flow through taxes as well. It's in tax law.
You need to know the law, though. It's not
have a
something
good accountant.
You can't do it on
That's
your
what I
own.
believe. Just have a good accountant.
Are you an accountant as well?
Absolutely not.
No.
Nope. I respectfully decline ever saying yes to that question.
I think we dump a lot of questions on you. Hey, the phone line is open. If you want to call Vanessa, we would love to hear what you have to say. It does not have to be something we're talking about. You could bring something brand new to the show. My recommendation, though, is to call like right now, wait on hold, and after the break, you could ask her right away. That way, you've got a good 12 minutes for Vanessa to answer your question. If you call at 1 minute before the end of the show, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. So 622-9622 is the number. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For Friday, some sun, then increasing clouds, a shower and heavy thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. The high Friday, 80 to 84. Later Friday night, some clearing, low 63 in a few inland spots, upper 60s along the coast. For Saturday, partly sunny, just a slight chance of a shower, high 82 to 86. Sunday, mostly sunny, high 80 on the coast, 88 well inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
This Mother's Day, join us for Pokin' for the Pee-wees. Saturday, May 7th, 11 to 2. Food, prizes, petting zoo, pictures with Disney princesses and superheroes, bounce houses, games, live music, and more. See you at Beautiful Moments Party Rental just south of the airport on 60th Avenue. Limited vendor space available. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, with A Better You Healthcare at 352-615-5566. 615-5566.
Want to learn more about your furnace or air conditioner? Tune in this Saturday for free tips and expert advice on how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com. Saturday, free tips and expert advice on how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com.
We're saving thousands with Robert Palmer.
So rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around. If you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to get the best credit card, if you're looking at student loans, cell phone bills, you name it, rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around.
That's rule number one, just one more vital part of fighting back to stop being a financial zombie. Yes, you can take the mystery out of the complicated world of finances. Take charge when it comes to your money. Listen in on The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, Saturdays at 12:05.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind their work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
All right, 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. Again, the number is 622-9622. It is 622-WOCA. Make it a little bit easier to remember. And go ahead and interrupt us if you want. And Vanessa will answer your legal questions. Before we do anything else, though, Vanessa, what is your phone number at your office?
My phone number at my office is area code 352-804-0092.
Are there any case? Let me give you an exact example. because we talked about this before we went on the air. Would you take this case? A father in Vanguard High School, and the star better names him, but I don't want to name him because the son is the person that might get picked on, I guess. But the son went home to dad and said, hey, a girl came into the boys' room at high school today. What? What happened? Well, she identifies as a boy. This is a national story now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the school says, well, yeah, that was our policy, that if you identify as a male, you can use the boys' room. Now, I don't know if it's the opposite. I don't know if a boy can use the girls' room, but I'm just telling you what the story says. Okay, so he goes to the school board. They're going to have an emergency, what do they call it? An emergency item added to the agenda next Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday when they meet. And they're going to talk about a blanket rule for the whole county as far as whether boys can go into girls' rooms if they identify as a girl and vice versa. Okay. So let's say the school board doesn't do that. Or maybe they do that. Somebody might want to sue somebody else.
Correct.
Oh, man. That's the national story. That's what's happening in North Carolina right now. So what would you do? Would you handle that? And how would you handle it? Let's say you represented the father of the boy who thought that if you're physically a boy, you should be the only ones allowed in the boys' room, and physically a girl, only allowed in the girls' room.
I don't know if I would take that case.
Because?
Because I agree with the other side.
You agree with the other side?
Yeah.
Oh, that the girls should be allowed in the boys' room?
Well, not as... I could see the argument for high school and why in schools that should not be the case, but I believe I had one too many women's studies classes, and I believe very strongly in gender equality and gender identification, like what you identify as, you know, and especially when they get into adulthoods and that's whole kinds of social issues that you're going to be getting to at that point in time. But because I would agree more with that side, I probably wouldn't. That would be one of the times where, you know, as an attorney, you pick and choose the case for various reasons. But if I did, let's just say I took the case.
Well,
let's say it's a friend, and a friend came to me and said, hey, will you do it for me? I don't necessarily have to agree with the idea, but if I did take the case...
well, what if it was the other side? What if it was the girl who feels like she's a boy? She comes to you and she says... hey, they're not allowing me in the restroom that is the one I should go to. By the way, they offered her an opportunity to use an alternative bathroom, like a single toilet bathroom, and she didn't want to use it.
Like a family,
I guess,
restroom type of setup.
The unisex bathrooms, right?
Yeah. She didn't want to use it. So the principal said, okay, well, then you're a boy. Use the boys' room.
And, I mean, I can see why, because it's school, why parents would be concerned.
Exactly.
I think, but if you look at the world as a whole, especially in Europe, most of the restrooms in Europe are unisex bathrooms.
Doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't, right? They don't. Those type of norms are social norms. They're not universal norms. So I think that's the other reason why I would, you know, champion the cause. But yet again, I understand parents have concerns. They're kids and seeing things, and that's its own can of worms. So
when we were in Chattanooga, which is we went to a National Association of Campus Activities, so it was all young people.
College.
The girls' room, the ladies' room, was designated as the gender-neutral room. Okay, the men's room was all men, but the ladies' room was gender-neutral. And the college-age girls, when Robin was in there, said when she saw Robin, "Are there any men in here?" Because the first thing they thought was, now I know there was a great acceptance of it as well, because they were applauding them they were applauding the association for doing that. But at the same time, there was enough of a population of girls who felt uncomfortable with it that they waited until there was no men in there before they went in.
Exactly.
I think that, I mean...
even though there are stalls, I mean, still, you want to have this place just for yourself, for your own privacy, for your own sense of safety. You know, guys should go, that are anatomically guys should go there, and women that are anatomically women should have their own restroom. Because you never know. There might be, you know, men out there that'll pretend to be a woman that want to rape or something like that.
I think that could happen whether or not, in any situation. You know, people could pretend to take advantage of the system, because that's just how people
It's
what that mindset are.
It's a national debate, and I really didn't mean to bring the debate to your show, but I wondered from a legal perspective how you would handle it if somebody either side came to you to be represented.
I mean, you set up the facts. I mean, it depends on what the ruling is and what the reasoning is.
So you basically have, in your ethical constitution of your own self,
Mm-hmm.
you would not take a case where you were representing somebody and weren't necessarily politically on the same side as them.
I would say most times it doesn't matter. I think that's one of the few
Times you would.
For me, that I think I'm more progressive in that area. So, and it's a hot button for myself and because people I know. And
I think most men wouldn't care less if there was a woman in the men's room. I think women care when there's a man in there, though. I couldn't care less.
But most of the time you can't tell.
Just ask. Just wait till I'm done, though. I mean,
Right.
if you're coming into the men's room, Vanessa, and I'm in there, I'll say, "Could you just wait a second? Just get in line. Stand behind me." All right, we'll do. We've got a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Vanessa. Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning. I don't think I'd be that lucky to have a woman come into the men's room. Anyways, attending an automobile race. On the ticket stub was very fine print on the backside saying any injury due to the races, we're not responsible and all that stuff. If you're attending a race and let's say a piece of the car, the racing car, or a stone or something comes up through a fence and hits you in the face, is there any possibility of a lawsuit there, even though it states on the back end of the ticket that they're not responsible for any injuries during the race time?
Good question.
There's always a possibility for a lawsuit, even if there are waivers. Because waivers of liability, like when you go bungee jumping or if you jump out of an airplane or do anything that's an extreme sport, there's always a waiver of liability. And it goes more, yes, you waived it, but sometimes their gross negligence it supersedes the fact that you signed the waiver. So depending on what the facts and circumstances are, there's potentially a way to get around it.
Really? So
at least there's an argument there to be had.
So those disclaimers and those waivers don't really hold a whole lot of weight?
For the most part, they do. I mean, they
do?
They do for the most part.
A sign that says, keep out, bad dog, and you go into the yard and you get bit, are you...
It was a bad dog.
Okay, so you don't have
That's going to be a little bit different of a situation than when you go to the race. Let's say the fence wasn't high enough. The law says the fence is supposed to be, I don't even know. Let's just say 3 feet tall.
Right.
And it was only 2.5.
Okay.
So that's something different because it's outside of what should have been going on.
Okay.
And that's what's really wonderful about good attorneys, because like you said earlier, you can pick and choose what you believe in and what you don't believe in. You're not just in it for the money.
Sometimes it's not about the money.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably all the case. In your case, I mean, sure, you get cases that are strictly business, but it seems like you've got you're very committed to whatever it is you believe in.
That's very true.
So we got from so far with knowing you.
I have my stances.
Do you allow the students to shadow your office? Sometimes the seniors in high school might want to go into the legal arena, and then they have shadowing programs.
I haven't done it for high school students. I've done it for law students, but not high school students.
But law students, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Vanessa, always interesting conversations happen when you're here. Hope your car's working okay.
Me too.
Give your phone number again, please.
Area code 352-804-0092.
Okay, and again, call us if you need that information repeated, and JenningsLaw.net, that's the website?
That is the website.
JenningsLaw.net. All right, we'll take a little break. Be right back. We'll see you next week, Vanessa. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Reports in of shootings in southern Ohio that have left at least 7 family members dead.